Hi, everyone. It's me. Let's begin our story. In a small village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake lived a little girl named Layla. She had long flowing brown hair that reached down to her ankles and bright inquisitive eyes that twinkled like stars. Every evening when the sun dipped below the horizon, Layla would sit by her bedroom window and gaze up at the night sky. As the darkness deepened, countless stars began to twinkle above her, each one a tiny spark of wonder in the vast expanse. Layla loved to make a wish upon these stars, whispering her dreams and hopes into the stillness of the night. One night, as Layla was sitting by her window, she noticed something unusual. A small speck in the sky that didn't resemble any of the other stars she had seen before. At first, she thought it might be a shooting star, those fleeting visitors that streaked across the sky and vanished in an instant. But this speck didn't streak across the sky. Instead, it seemed to fall slowly, gracefully descending towards the earth like a tiny leaf drifting down from a tree. With wide eyes, Layla watched as the speck grew larger and larger until it landed softly in the garden just outside her window. A wave of curiosity washed over Layla. What if it was a magical star that had fallen from the sky just for her? Without a moment's hesitation, Layla got out of bed, careful not to wake her parents, and tiptoed to her window. Peeking outside, she saw something truly magical. In her garden, where moments ago there had been nothing but grass and flowers, now sat a tiny, glowing star. Its light was soft and ethereal, casting strange shadows on the walls of her house. As Layla stood there mesmerized, she heard a tiny voice. "Can someone please help me?" The voice was so small and fragile that Layla could have easily mistaken it for a whisper of the wind. But she knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that the voice had come from the star. Mustering all her courage, Layla opened her window and climbed onto the windowsill. Taking a deep breath, she reached out and gently touched the star. To her surprise, it didn't feel hot or cold, but simply cool and smooth like a polished stone. And yet it continued to glow with an otherworldly light. "Are you all right?" Layla asked, her voice barely a whisper as she gazed at the star. The star shimmered faintly, and the voice spoke again. "I'm lost and my light is fading. I need to get back to the sky, but I am too weak." Hearing this, Layla felt a surge of determination. She wouldn't let this poor little star fade away. It was so tiny and helpless, and something inside her, perhaps the magic of the night or the kindness in her heart, compelled her to help. Gently, Layla lifted the star in her hands and cradled it as if it were a precious jewel. She carefully climbed back into her room, determined to find a way to help the star regain its strength. Closing the window, Layla set about finding something to help the star. As she searched, she thought about what a tiny creature must need. Surely it would want some water to drink, and maybe something soft to rest on. In the kitchen, Layla found a small bottle of water and carefully poured a bit onto the table. She then went to her bedroom and fetched one of her softest blankets, which she had received as a gift from her grandmother. Returning to the kitchen, she laid the blanket over the table and placed the star on it. With a gentle touch, Layla held the bottle of water near the star, hoping it would drink. And indeed, as the water approached, the star seemed to stir slightly, its light flickering like a candle in the breeze. Slowly and carefully, the star began to drink, taking small sips of water until the bottle was empty. As it drank, Layla noticed that its light seemed to grow a little brighter, as if the water had given it some strength. With the star seemingly a little stronger, Layla decided to rest it for a while. She picked up the blanket with the star still resting on it and walked to her bed. Laying the blanket down gently, she tucked it around the star, almost as if she were tucking in a favorite stuffed animal before bedtime. Then she left the room, leaving the star to rest. Every few minutes, Layla couldn't help but peek into her room to check on the star. She wanted to help it become strong enough to return home to the place where it belonged among the other stars in the sky. As the hours passed, the star seemed to grow brighter and more vibrant. Layla smiled, knowing that her small acts of kindness were making a difference. Then, when the first rays of sunlight began to peek through her window, Layla knew what she had to do. She carried the star to the top of the hill behind her house, a place where she could wave goodbye to the star as it returned to the sky. Standing on the hill, Layla looked up, and to her amazement, she saw a group of big, bright stars descending from the heavens. They twinkled with an otherworldly light, forming a welcoming circle above her. As the stars drew closer, Layla realized that they were there to welcome their little friend back home. The biggest and brightest star among them, which she now knew must be the star's mother, shimmered with love and gratitude. The star that Layla had cared for during the night flew into the center of the circle formed by the other stars. For a moment, its light shone brightly, as if thanking Layla for her help. Then, along with the other stars, it began to ascend slowly and gracefully, like a symphony of light. They rose higher and higher until they were just a twinkling spectacle in the vast canvas of the morning sky. Before leaving, the biggest star, presumably the mother, separated from the group and flew closer to Layla. It twinkled warmly, and Layla felt as if the star was smiling at her. Then, with a gentle touch, the star brushed against Layla's outstretched hand, leaving behind a small, glowing necklace shaped like a star. The necklace pulsed with a soft, warm light that matched the color of the rising sun. As the star rejoined its companions in the sky, Layla looked up at it and smiled. She knew the star was giving her a special gift, a token of their friendship and gratitude. Layla carefully fastened the necklace around her neck, feeling its warmth spreading through her chest. It was as if the star's love and appreciation were flowing directly into her heart. From that day on, whenever Layla felt sad or needed a reminder of her adventure, she only had to look down at her glowing necklace. The memory of the star's gratitude and the magic of the night warmed her heart and filled her with joy. As the years passed, Layla never forgot the valuable lesson she had learned that night. Helping others, no matter how small or insignificant they might seem, brought a special kind of joy and warmth to her heart. And she carried that lesson with her, always trying to be kind and helpful to those around her. And so the tale of Layla and the fallen star became a legend in her family, a story told and retold, reminding everyone who listened that even the smallest acts of kindness could leave the brightest of sparkles in our hearts.